What's going on, everybody? John Eric Pauli here with My MMA News, and today's guest will be fighting Denis Hickey this weekend at Maverick MMA 22. Those fights will be from the Wind Creek Casino in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. It's Maverick's first casino show, which is nice to see. I know that Maverick's been doing a lot of great things over the years here with the regional MMA scene. So today's guest is Hunter May. Hunter, nice to see you, man. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, man, no problem at all. And now fight week is here. I know you're starting to cut the weight and everything. How you feeling physically, mentally? Any of those pre-fight jitters going on? Or are you just excited to finally get in there and fight on fight night?
Definitely excited to get in there. Little nervous. I mean, pre-fight jitters, you're gonna be hurting the whole fight week if you're cutting weight. So just trying to like have fun with the whole process. I know that every fighter has to go through it. So you just really have to enjoy it and not psych yourself out too much mentally going into it. So I'm definitely enjoying the week so far. Feeling all right.
So now this fight's going to be at 170 pounds, the welterweight limit. This is your second time. I know it's your third fight, but the second time cutting down to the weight. Just how's that been adjusting to cutting down the weight there? Are you starting to master it? Do you feel better and a lot smoother of a process cutting down to welterweight now?
This one definitely feels a lot smoother. I had about seven or 8 months between my last fight and now, so I had more time to put on some muscle, understand the process more about leading into fight week, how to get the right nutrients into my body, keeping my calories low, and then obviously like mastering the water intake, and then hopefully going into the weight cut. As far as Thursday, I won't have too much weight to cut. I'm already pretty low at this point in the week. So just making sure everything goes smoothly and don't make any mistakes.
I was gonna say, I know in the past, as far as weight cutting goes, you had mentioned a few times. I think it was actually Maverick for their Facebook page gave a little. They came to your open workouts and did a little interview package, and you mentioned middleweight in there a decent amount of times. You mentioned that weight class there. Is that anything possible in the middleweight division, or are you just focused on welterweight and making sure that's going to be your home weight class there?
I'm definitely focused on welterweight for now. I think that like with my frame making 170 and being able to like come in like healthy, I'll be very good at 170. But uh, I do walk around pretty high, not as high as some of the people. I mean, I don't know what they're walking around at, but I mean, I'm in the 180s. 185 is a very small cut where I feel like I'd be perfectly like as far as my nutrition leading into it. I could eat a little bit more, come in healthier. So I want to take care of 170 first, and then I'm not going to say no to any possible 185 opportunities in the future.
All right, so I do want to back up now a second to your last fight. So something that was very difficult happened. You got a last minute opponent. That's something no fighter wants to go through it. And I know from interviewing guys as high as the UFC over the years, it's a tricky thing to do there. What was that experience like for you to get an opponent last minute and you got to come up with a whole new game plan, figure out what they're good at, and everything else that goes into a strategizing for a fight there? So what was that whole process like?
As far as the game plan go, it mainly it's a little bit looser, especially for amateurs, because I feel like everyone could. I mean, some people have their own defined skill sets, but like as far as long as you're technical and not making mistakes, it's usually kind of the same going in. I was more worried during uh, the process of losing the opponent of just not being able to fight. I think that's the biggest thing that goes into it. You're preparing for 12 weeks, 8 to 12 weeks, and then you have one guy in mind, and then 17 days before the fight, I get a message that he tells me that he's not going to be there anymore. So I'm accepting every single fight. I accepted a fight at 185 with an opponent that ended up fighting on the card before me. And then that's the opponent. Cody LaFaver was the opponent that I ended up getting at. So I was just scrambling to get an opponent at that point. I already put the work in. It's important when you put the work in that you want to show like how hard you've been working in the gym. So I'm glad it worked out.
Okay, so now training camp is wrapped up now. Just how was your camp?
It's very good. I just feel like it's important every camp to go in with you don't want to be like learning new things throughout camp. Like my coaches are telling me, you don't want to learn things through camp. You want to just sharpen what you've been learning outside of camp. So I do take a lot of time in the off season to learn to grow. I stay in the gym. Camp doesn't really change much when I get off. It's just maybe instead of having 3 hard sessions a week and training 6 to 7 days, I'll have 1 to 2 hard sessions a week and still train 6 days. So it's the same process. I think going from off season to camp is always a smooth transition, but I definitely pushed it a little bit more this camp. Learning how far I could go cardio wise, my strengths and weaknesses going to the fight, sharpening everything up. So I'm excited to show that off.
All right, so now we're both Northeastern Pennsylvania guys, and one of the cool things here is that the sport is growing every single day in this area. I know your gym, Scranton MMA, you guys just recently opened a location in Wilkes-Barre, which is awesome. It's great to see that you guys have so much business now that you're able to open those other locations like that. Just talk about the growth in the sport and what that's been like to watch that in this area.
I mean, it's amazing in this area. I love to see like all the promotions getting bigger, especially, I mean, Maverick's the promotion that gave me my opportunity. So, just seeing them like expanding to their first casino show, and there are plenty of different places that are going to be doing the same thing soon. So it shows like from even last year when I started competing, like looking at all the amateurs that come in with either no experience or little experience, and how highly like they're able to fight as far as like their skill level. It's very good to see. It's exciting as far as being a young up and comer and seeing all these people growing very fast and trying all having the same goals to reach the top, and having great coaches around them, like all the great coaches in the area that are mentoring all these people the right way. It's great to see.
Yeah, and shout out to Willie and the crew there with Maverick. They're doing a fantastic job. A lot of opportunities for amateurs like yourself and getting guys their first few pro fights. It's been a great thing, not only in this area, but for the state of Pennsylvania, even like this whole kind of Northeast region. There's been some Connecticut, New York fighters coming down, and that's been great to see. But let's stick with the guys here at Scranton MMA for just a minute here. You are one of a few fighters on the card and one of a few fighters from the gym that are associated with Maverick. What's it been like for all you guys just to kind of all be kind of in that same boat where you guys are in the same promotion, you guys are working towards the same goals, to have a few kind of guys to go to war with, so to speak?
It's fantastic having like a team around you, especially when we're all like at a similar level. And as far as like right now with me, Jesse, and Gabby, all being able to compete under Maverick. But I mean, I'm excited even more for the people right behind me that are coming up. I just want to show people the right way how to do it. But the young people on our team that nobody's gotten to see yet that are going to be able to compete soon. This team is just starting. I came to the gym 3 years ago. The fight team was small. There weren't too many people competing. I mean, Gab competed a little bit. Jesse wasn't competing as much back then. And I think we all just once we saw what we could do in the gym and how hard we were working and what we could do when we go out and compete, we just decided it was time for all of us to really push and see how far we could go with all this. So it's exciting to not have to go to war alone. You get to go to war with your teammates, coaches, your gym, your family.
All right, let's talk now a little bit about your opponent here. Just what have you seen out of him and what are you expecting on fight night?
I got to see a little bit of film on him. He seems like I think we're both at like a similar experience level. Like we both had 2 fights. He finished his fights. He's dealt with adversity in the cage. He fought for a good promotion and dead serious. He has a good skill set. He's a blue belt like as far as his grappling rank. Looks a little like as far as athletic background. I mean, he was a hockey player and he played at a decent level, so I know that he's going to be coming in with good strength and conditioning, athleticism. I think he likes the brawl, but um, as far as the technique going into a fight, I just always believe that my technique's better, and that calms me down going in to deal with anybody in there. So I'm excited for the challenges, the adversity that he could possibly bring to me. But I mean, when we get locked in there and ready to go, it's just I can't think about anything other than winning at that point.
All right, let's talk about future stuff here now for a little bit. Obviously, being an amateur, this is a time in your career that I don't want to say you get a hall pass, so to speak, but I mean, this is a time where you learn, you grow. If you make a mistake,
Yep.
it's okay. Nobody's going to fault you for having losses on your amateur record. So this is, a very important time in a fighter's career. When you look at your career and you look at the future of it, what's kind of like the blueprint like? Do you have like a timeline of when you want to go pro or take that next step in your amateur ranks, or are you kind of just playing everything out and just kind of playing everything by ear, seeing how things are going to play out here in the future? What's kind of like the future blueprint like for you here in the sport?
I mean, I definitely want to take it one fight at a time. It's really easy for people after winning a couple fights to just overlook everything, overlook the fight in front of you, and just be like, I can't wait to win these belts and go pro. and and they push instead of realizing that there's somebody else right now that's training in front of me that I'm gonna have to go in there and compete against, and he could easily be better than me on the day if I overlook him like that. But as far as a timeline for things like that, I do have some goals for this year. I mean, I do after like taking care of this fight, I plan to be a champion. So whether that's at 170, I know there's two 170s fighting on the card. If I take care of my opponent, whoever comes out on that, I'll be looking at that hopefully next. If I get that 170-pound strap, possibly going to 185 and then attempting to get a belt there. And then the biggest things for me as far as turning pro is I want to be the number one 170 in Pennsylvania, number one regional in Pennsylvania as far as 170, and then my coaches Steve Wilson and Frank Loga have to tell me that I'm ready to go because it's obviously it's up to them in my mind.
All right, just one last thing before I let you head out for the day here. So we mentioned before in the opening, this is Maverick's first casino show. You know a thing or two about casinos, just like I do. I'm still employed by Mohegan, Pennsylvania. You used to work there for a while as a tables game dealer. Do you plan on using some of those skills you learned dealing to the test there after the fight? You gonna go and hit up the blackjack table or anything like that?
No, I might just watch everyone do that. I think I'll just maybe enjoy a drink or two, maybe eat some bad food, and then hopefully get a good night's sleep and be able to go into the gym either the next day or the day after. But if someone's playing crap, someone's playing blackjack, if they ask me what they want me or if they what they're supposed to do, I'll tell them what to do. But I'm not playing.
All right, man. Appreciate all the time today. Last thing before I head out, go ahead, plug your social media so people know where to follow you at. If you have any sponsorships or anything like that you got to plug, floor is yours. Take it away.
I mean, my Instagram is Mokatron MMA. I don't usually use too much social media. I'm not looking for sponsorships yet. I think down the line, if I perform the right way, then I think that I'll go for that a little bit more. But I want to shout out my team, Scranton MMA, Wilkes-Barre MMA, our newest gym. My coaches Steve Wilson, Frank Alogna. Steve Wilson is expecting a baby. Frank Alogna just had his first baby, so I just want to shout them out. And then my teammates as well, Jesse Burke getting ready to fight as well, Gab Giordano, and then everyone in our team. It's important that they get the love because it's me going in there, but they helped me this whole time. So